This is Charlie Mato-Toyela with Blue Bear Flutes. Of course, as I always like to remind you, we have our YouTube channel here that you're accustomed with, obviously, as well as our website, bluebearflutes.com, and our Instagram, which is one of my favorites because, like I say, we're not focused on trying to make sales on Instagram. It's just mainly pictures of things we've made, places we've been. If you have a question about, have you ever made a snowman totem? Have you ever made a totem that looks like the tree of life or a menorah or a Chinese dragon, go to Instagram. Instagram.com/bluebearflutes. I don't think you have to have an account. I know you didn't in the past. If you don't want an account and you want to see our stuff, you can actually go to the bottom of my website in the right hand corner. There's some little icons down there. The one that looks like a camera is Instagram, and you can see the feed there, which is nice. Today's quick video actually comes from a question that we had on one of our subreddits. And this is, I think Native American Flutes was the subreddit. I forget sometimes which ones we kind of moderate. But the question was, what is the effect of water on a wooden, Native American specifically, but really any flute? And that's a really great question. As I had commented on the person's question in there, a lot of times when I think of these things that I need to talk to someone, ask their opinion or what have you, I always just kind of refer back in my mind, what would one of the elders have said, say 1,000 years ago? What would they have said if you asked them, what is the effect of water on a Native American flute? And then in the comment I said, well, that's really kind of silly because I wouldn't be asking them that question. I could think of so many other great questions to ask old people about. Wherever you're from, whether they be Native Americans or ancient nomadic tribes from Europe, there's a lot of good questions to be asking. But anyway, with regards to water and the effect of it on wood, we have some great examples of that. One of them would be a boat. And wooden boats have been in the water for quite some time, and some of them I have even seen in museums that have been around for thousands of years, and they look like I could get in them and use them today. Might not be able to without them falling apart because it has been some time, but for the most part these things are well preserved because of how they're treated. Now I'd like to refer back over to how we treat our flutes. We use oil in making our flutes. That actually goes usually on the outside and the inside of our flutes. I personally don't like to lacquer them, so you see this guy here just soaking in oil right now, and he'll be wiped off and finished up and kind of made real nice and shiny. But oil and beeswax, as well as a technique that we use in burning the fingerings. Now, I can't promise you, like I say, all flute makers do this. Matter of fact, most of them don't. But the reason that I burn the fingerings into our flutes is because it cauterizes the hole that we drilled out. Everywhere you drill a hole or sand a flute or cut it with a saw, it opens pores up. If you split a piece of wood in half, there are twice as many pores, right? I mean, not really twice, I guess it's a fourth more pores open. Well, actually, that's not right. I guess it'd be like maybe, I don't know, 4/6. Anyway, try to think of how many sides a piece of wood has. It would have a few more pores open that would be exposed to the air. And that means more pores to let moisture out or moisture in. And honestly, wood breathes just like, trees and dirt and lots of things breathe that we can't really comprehend on our level because we're like right here, and then there's things that are up here and things that are down here that it's just hard to see and imagine that an ant breathes or how they breathe for that matter. But the wood breathes, and as it breathes, if it has more pores, the more pores gives it more opportunity to breathe. So we fill those pores up with oil and wax, and it kind of chokes it and it stops breathing. Actually, it helps to lengthen, I guess, the lifespan of this flute, which is one way we can say it. Something else we do, in addition to cauterizing, we actually burn the inside of the flute. Now, I've got other videos on this, and of course we have videos on just about everything, every aspect of flute making, but I'll tell you right now, the reason that we burn the inside of these flutes is not only to make them nice and slick inside, because I don't know if you probably can't see, there's still some fibers poking up here. We try to sand those out, but burning it does a great job of getting them out. It's kind of warm still. But the burning process, not only does it help to bring more sugars to the top of the wood, which helps to caramelize them and seal them off, but it also tempers the wood a little bit, which also seals it off. Additionally, it does make the finish a little finer on the inside of the flute. I don't do this on the outside for a couple of reasons. I do on occasion, but usually this is the way we go. And like I say, burning the inside of it actually helps to protect the inside of the flute. So this isn't just a plug for Blue Bear Flutes and how I've been doing things, and my wife's been doing things for years and years now. I've been making flutes for over 30 years at this point. It's not just to highlight our techniques, but also specifically to answer that question. When wood gets wet, things happen. We know that. I mean, you may have a favorite, whatever, picture frame or something that got damp and you've seen wood separation, or maybe if you had something laminated, you'll see a laminate come off of the wood. But river cane is really well known for cracking, and usually it cracks right here whenever it gets played for years and years and years. The reason it cracks right there is because as I blow in this flute, the air actually splits at that point. And with the friction of the air, it actually sucks the moisture out of that area, and then it gets wet again, and then it gets moist, and then it gets dry, and then it gets moist, and then it gets dry, and over. Eventually it kind of erodes and causes a little crack to happen right there. A lot of times the cracks will happen up here, and occasionally they happen down at the bottom. There again, we oil the inside of the flute to prevent these cracks from happening. And with river cane, I actually put a little bit of super glue on top. You may not see it, but I put it right up here on this area to help protect it. That also leads me to my last comment I'd like to make about what happens to your flute if it gets moist. I actually have a couple of flutes that I take with me when we go canoeing. And these flutes I actually have, gotten wet several times, and because of that, they will tend to look a little different. The outside of them get a little bit damaged and what have you, and then after that they look a little different, but they still play because we oil and wax them. You can find that they warp a little bit. Typically that's not the case, but you will find that this kind of thing happens. So I hope this helps answer your questions and maybe gives you a little food for thought. If you have any other questions, feel free to post them on any of the aforementioned areas where we have information, and you can get additional information from that as well. But like I say, here on YouTube, we do have hundreds of videos on making and playing Native American flutes, so you might want to check those out as well. Anyway, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela signing out for Blue Bear Flutes and BlueBearFlutes.com. I hope to see you again here very soon. Take care and have a wonderful day.